As we strolled down a quiet, winding road on the outskirts of town, the tranquility of the moment was shattered by a pitiful sight. There, lying in a puddle of muddy water, was an elderly sheepdog. His once white fur was matted and filthy, and his eyes held a heartbreaking expression of defeat. We approached cautiously, our hearts heavy with sorrow for the suffering animal before us. The dog's back was covered in parasites, and a deep gash marred his tail. A shaved area on his belly hinted at recent medical treatment, likely an ultrasound. It didn't take much to surmise that his owners had received an unfavorable prognosis and chose to abandon him rather than face the burden of care. Without a second thought, we named the sheepdog Ralph and resolved to give him a fighting chance at life. Carefully, we lifted him into the car, his frail body trembling in our arms. During the drive to the veterinary clinic, it felt like Ralph's life was slipping away with each passing moment. The clinic's diagnosis was bleak: severe inflammation and a weakened body. Ralph couldn't even muster the energy to eat on his own. We had to syringe feed him, after which he'd drift into a restless slumber. For 2 agonizing days, Ralph hung in a precarious balance between life and death. Doctors conducted tests and examinations, painting a grim picture of his chances. When we first found Ralph, he appeared to be a wise, elderly soul. But the vet's assessment shocked us. He was no more than 7 years old, and there wasn't much hope for his survival. The first 5 days were a nerve-wracking blur as we clung to any glimmer of progress. Ralph slowly gained the strength to eat a bit of meat broth on his own, a small victory that filled us with hope. Gradually, the frail dog's spirit began to shine through. He mustered the determination to rise to his unsteady feet, taking a few wobbly steps before resting again. It was as if Ralph had decided he wasn't ready to give up just yet. His appetite returned, and he became more and more active, surprising us with his resilience. To our astonishment, it turned out that Ralph was not only resilient but also obedient. He knew commands and followed them precisely. It was as if this sheepdog, discarded and left for dead, had a fighting spirit that refused to be extinguished. Our days filled with joy as Ralph continued to improve. He transformed from a frail, abandoned creature into a spirited, loving companion.